Hello and welcome. I'm going to do a little special, end of year special, end of 2021, just for something different. It's going to be fairly casual. I'm just sort of going to shoot the breeze really, show you some of the projects that are in the wings for YouTube videos, some of my favourite machines, some of my projects that I've been doing over the last year, and bits and pieces. I know it's been a tough year for a lot of people, so I really hope that the YouTube videos entertain people, inform people, and allow people to repair their own machines at home if they're locked up inside, or in lockdown. I know the lockdowns aren't so much of a thing these days, but they still seem to be happening here and there. And yeah, it's hard enough to find people to repair things full stop, let alone a sewing machine repair person. So I really do hope that these videos are educational and entertaining. So you'll see behind me here some machines there that I'll be doing YouTube videos on. Some of them I use, and I just thought I'd show you a few of my favourite machines and the ones that I have handy here anyway. So let's take a quick look here. One of my all-time favourites, Singer 301A, American-made machine. I really love this machine. I love the look of it. It's beautiful to use, smooth, very well made. I love the lines. This reminds me of like a locomotive, it's got that very Art Deco sort of look to it. Try not to drop it. And this here sort of looks like, I don't know, like a monument or something. It's like a building or something. Yeah, I just love the look of this one. I love the gold. The gold and the black looks really nice. This is one of about 4 machines that I have, and as far as I know, I haven't looked too far into it, but I think that this is one of the very first electronic machines, the Singer Futura. So I've got a few of them in various states of disrepair. I haven't really assessed them too much, but I know that this one's got some electronic issue going on. I can't select the straight stitch here or the reverse. It might just be a matter of cleaning the buttons there. Could be an electronic issue, not too sure. But I like these. These are kind of in the vein of the Singer 700 series. Might be looking a bit hot here because it is. I've got the room closed up. I've got a big light here. I closed the room up because there's an airport close by, so we get a lot of noisy aircraft, and there's a road right outside here. Get quite a few vehicles through there, so that's why it's all closed up. I'll probably look a bit warm on it. So yeah, that's a project for next year. I want to do a video on that. Also the 301A. I'd love to do a more in-depth video on that. Now those that are familiar with the channel know that I really love these Elna Supermatic SU. It's the Star series. Brilliant machine. If someone said to me, right, you're going to be plonked on a desert island, you can have one sewing machine, this would be it. Just amazing. Smooth, quiet, capable. It does pretty much everything I need it to do. If I'm going to be doing buttonholes, this is the one that I choose, and I've done videos on that as well. So yeah, that's a sort of a a daily machine for me. If I'm sewing, quite often I'll be using that. The other little beauty that I use a lot is the Featherweight 222K. That's the free arm model here. So a lot of my projects are done on this machine. Just straight sewer, pretty simple, really nice, smooth, quiet, lovely, cute. You can't go wrong. So that's one of my machines from my collection there. In fact, I probably use this one more. This is the 221K. And I think I kind of use this in lieu of the 222K, just so that so that I don't wear the 222K out too much. The 221 is not quite as rare as the 222K. So that one has done projects. I'll show you the projects that this one's done this year. This one, oh, these are heavy. Small but heavy. The 99K Singer. This one here, it's in a bit of a state. That's a 1950 centenary version. I've got probably a dozen, it's embarrassing to say, maybe a dozen or more 99Ks. I really need to start sort of moving them on. I probably will keep like a collectible model that's in good condition, and but I need to go through and figure out what state they're in, what state the motors are in and things like that, clean them up and keep it for the collection and just move the rest on. Now I talked about the projects. Now there's a story to this. This was is a Christmas present for my daughter. Christmas just been. But I wasn't happy with it. I wrapped it. Christmas night came. I slept on it, thought about it all night, and thought I wasn't happy with it. So Lauren, if you're watching this video, don't watch it until you've received this present that's going to be sorted for you. So I'm unwrapping your present, Lauren. The problem, it's an oven mitt, and you can see the horrendously manky job that I did on the binding. It was a rush job. It was done on Christmas Eve. I had a couple of attempts at the binding. So there's a wee story. Get you a close look at the manky binding. Yeah, as you can see, it's not acceptable. You don't want to see the back. It's terrible. I thought it was going to be easier than what it was. I know there's several different ways of doing this. I do have quite a bit of help. I'm in a club. It's kind of a quilting club, but more like a craft group. And they give me a lot of help. And I've never done this before, but what I did do, if you have a look at this binding here, really, really nice. It was very nice because I did that with a binding attachment on an industrial plain sewer. Now that's not the binder, I don't have the binder handy, that's not the right one, but it did a beautiful job. I made my own binding so I could get the right colour, and it did a beautiful job, mainly because there were no joins. Now that's what I wanted to achieve, just perfect, you know, as you'd expect to see on any professional product. And I did this binding right around the whole circumference of this here, but when it came to some of the joins, maybe I didn't cut the seam allowance down far enough. I had like a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and it didn't go through the binder very well, and I'd get raw edges popping out. So I unpicked all that, what the ladies at the club call reverse stitching. So I thought I'd take a different approach, and I thought I'd cut some more binding and have a go with this sort of thing. And this little binder here, you can just manually feed your binding through it, pull it through, and then just iron it. So it folds both edges in, and you iron that down. And I thought, well, I'll do that first, and then I'll just, you know, fold it over the edge of the oven mitt, and she'll be right. Yeah, well, it's not. And rush job as well. So definitely not happy with that. And of course, the ladies that show me how to do all this sort of thing are on holiday. So it wasn't like I could ring them up and get some help. Quite a few of them did offer, but it was getting too close to Christmas for my liking, and I didn't take up the offer. I know I could use YouTube maybe to learn how to do it properly, and I'm sure there's lots of people out there that know exactly how to do this, but that's something that's, you know, I've not been shown. So I just took a stab at it. I'm happy using these if they work properly. Yeah, as I say, the one I had was an industrial binder, but maybe the industrial bias binding has smaller seam allowances on it. So anyway, that was a fail, but that's a project to be done and then sent as a belated Christmas present to my daughter. So warning to anyone who, you know, decides to make Christmas presents. Quite often what can happen, well, has for me, is they don't get finished on time. So this is for my mother. I presented it to her as it was. As you can see, it's got no binding on it. And then just took it off her again because I needed to get the binding on it. So, yeah. make sure you have these done early. Same thing, I've never done the binding. I thought about YouTubing it, yeah, but that was for Mum. So that's a little kit that I bought, and there's a whole lot of fussy cutting on here, and I'll tell you what, I'm not fussed on fussy cutting. It's not my cup of tea. I quite like quilting. My favourite thing is making shirts, actually. Quilting is pretty fun. It's very time consuming, but this fussy cutting, no, that'll be it for me. Although I do like the result. Close look there, the little bird. The English name is fantail. Thanks, Molly. The Maori name is piwakawaka, a little native bird to New Zealand. So, yep, I did the cross hatching all on the 221. So all of these projects have been done on the 221, mostly. Yeah, I mentioned the shirt. I'll go and put it on quickly and you can have a look. Here we go. Whew, way too hot to be wearing a long sleeve shirt today, but this is a project that I finished this year. Mostly done on the Elna SU. I did this one on because I needed the buttonholes. But yeah, yep, turned out pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah, so that was a neat little project. And thanks to Tanya, who suggested, oh, here's a good idea. Why don't you just do 2 little buttons instead of 1 big one, all the way down. Yeah, that's great. Looks quite good, but man, it takes a long time to put on and take off, I can tell you. And you can see there the little bits there that need trimming. Just as you wear them, the buttonholes, just the inside of the buttonhole there can come out. I just need to trim those off. Yeah, a bit more trimming to do there. These bits and pieces turn up. But yeah, that was a fun little project. Oh, I had to take it off. It's too hot. Hello, Molly's here. Why don't you say thank you to everyone on YouTube? Say thank you for watching over the year. Hey, why don't you say something? Why don't you purr into the microphone? Hey, hey. Right, I'm going to end up with cat fur all over me, so apologies in advance for that. It ends up everywhere, doesn't it? I find it when I'm editing the videos. I'll see a big piece of cat fur zoomed in real close. She doesn't even know she's a star. Upstages me, don't you? Hey? Yes, get lots of comments about Molly. Yes, she's getting old now, aren't you? If only you had fingers and thumbs and a bigger brain, you could do the editing for me, couldn't you? The other project I wanted to show you too was out in the garage. I'll show you that. I'll take you out there now. So shall we go for a walk, Molly? Should we take everyone out, have a look at the project in the garage? Yeah, okay. 28 degrees Celsius. Here's the company car, and you can see my sign writing I got done there. So I bought this in January 2021 and had the sign writing done. It's there. And here is the project. It's a bit of a test project actually, because this treadle machine here, you'll be able to see it's got some borer. Turn my light on. See, it's got a bit of borer in it. So I really, because I'm not very experienced with, you know, doing up woodwork and whatnot, as you've probably noticed, I thought I'd use this as a test bed just for doing a practice run. So I've sanded this back. It's had 1 coat of varnish on it. Needs about 3 or 4, so I'll go ahead and do that. The head on this one is in pretty good condition. It's this, so that's a centenary as well. Yeah, that one. Nice chrome there. And the hand wheel. It's one of my other hobbies, trail riding. Love my dirt bikes. I've also been restoring this bag. It's a bag from a company that I did my apprenticeship with, so my industrial sewing machine mechanics apprenticeship. It's a company called Ferrydown, Dunedin, New Zealand. Originally, this is probably made in the Christchurch factory, but I dragged this out. This had like a waterproof lining, a waterproof layer on the inside here that is all just sort of turning to dust. You might even be able to see some of it there. So I got into it with a scrubbing brush and gave it a good scrub. Got most of the, that's that sort of coating there. You can see some of it there, sort of stubborn hanging on there. But these were made on with a industrial walking foot machine. So you can see the stitching there is pretty heavy. And then that's just 3-thread overlocked around each piece to stop it from fraying. Yeah. So just, I bought that probably in the 1980s, not late 80s probably, that bag dates from. So I thought I'd resurrect it and use it again. Sorry about all the junk here as well. This is out in the garage. I picked up this Adler walking foot, model number 167. So that's a little project to get up and running there. Very nice machine. Are you still here, Molly? Oh, you're patient, aren't you? Hey? Now 28 degrees Celsius. I've got a little conversion on the back of this calculator here. 1.8 Celsius plus 32. So if we take, thank you, Molly. If we take 28 and multiply it by 1.8 and add 32, 82.4. Does that sound right? Fahrenheit. 82.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, so it's not, not overly hot, but it's getting there. It's warm in here. That's, by the way, this is one of my other passions or hobbies, if you like. I like collecting these old calculators, especially the HP here. I like the HPs. And for the people that know me, I like old things, and things like you may have noticed in the background, things like LPs and whatnot. I like these. I like physical media, likes of these records. I like the big 12-inch records like this. I like that tactile feel. What are you up to? Yeah, that tactile feel. Just love, putting them on the record player and listening to them. It's great. So also, if you're going to ask me my favourite band, it would probably be Devo. Either them or Talking Heads. Quite like Talking Heads too. I very much like Talking Heads. David Byrne. Little record collection over here somewhere, you might have seen in the background. A whole bunch of tapes. This is my tape collection here. It's getting bigger and bigger by the day. Just needs organising. That's picked this up the other day. T for the Tillerman, Cat Stevens. Nice chrome tape. Sounds really good. Really like old tapes as well. And the other thing I'm really into is old computers. So I like to restore old computers. There's another HP calculator there. There's a nice big chunky 60s calculator. More computers, computer stuff, yeah. So, Lego is another another favourite of mine. I've got some games and bits and pieces up there. There's a Lego set. That's the Apollo Saturn V rocket. And that's quite a big set actually. It's a big chunky set. It's tall. It's a great one. It takes about 3 hours to build that. And I've got other bits and pieces here of Darth Vader and other Lego. So that's it really. Something just for a little bit of fun really, so that you can kind of have a wee look outside of the In Stitches YouTube channel at some of the other things that I like to do. And of course, thank you very much for watching over the year and the years. and special thanks to my patrons on Patreon. And we'll see you next year, 2022. Thank you very much for watching.